Welcome to Mexico, one of the epicenters for the Airbnb bust that is going to be absolutely epic. Mexico has seen the amount of dumb money increase into the country, investing in real estate, not doing any research, and I'm going to show you boots on the ground of what is happening here right now in February 2023. So I wanted to start on the roof of this condominium project which I'm in right now, which is 50% Airbnb. And that building over there is also owned 50% by Airbnb, but it's not even finished yet. I was speaking to the developer and hilariously 30% of the people who bought are Canadians. I mean, Canadians will buy anything. They don't ask any questions. Nobody had asked any questions about occupancy rate, what the risks are associated with owning an Airbnb. Nobody cares about that. It's all just buy, and it's the stupidest thing I've probably ever seen. And then there's more buildings just over there. So you can see there's actually 3 buildings over there, and then there's another building behind that building of more condos. And the condos, they're not just here in this area. There's a project that they're literally breaking ground on right now and building the foundation for. Another condo project, and there's a pre-construction sales office just over the way there, and I'm going to walk down there and show you. There's more projects that are happening over there. There's projects all the way up the hillside. Pre-construction projects are absolutely everywhere here, and that is a sign. When you see pre-construction projects everywhere, that's probably the best sign to me that now is not a good time to invest your money, because if people are buying pre-construction here in Mexico, they're clearly clueless of the risks of that. And actually, when you ask the developers questions, it's absolutely hilarious at their responses. But you know, Mexicans will just walk away from the job if the economy gets bad. You could be stuck in litigation for years and years and years and years. So anyway, let's head down there and check out the Airbnbs, and then we'll get back to the computer and actually look at the data and see what's going on. So you can see that's the project right there that I was just stood on. And now I'm just walking over to these other projects, and as you can see, the roads here, they're not even developed yet because the condo building bonanza is just not even finished yet. They want to build more and more and more and more, and that's what they're going to do until basically the demand runs out. And then the bust here is just going to be absolutely insane, because you've seen so much dumb money here, it will just baffle you. I went to an Airbnb host meeting last night. It was a meetup of a Facebook group, and it was absolutely hilarious, guys. It was like meet the dumb money, and I really just saw how stupid the investors, even if you could call them that, I would just call them idiots, really are here. But you can see there's a condo project right there. There's condo projects all over here as well. So we're gonna head over there, and I'm gonna show you how they're not done yet. They're planning on building more and more and more. People don't realize that they're just gonna build and build and build. This isn't like Canada or the US. If they've got the capacity to build here in Mexico, they're gonna build, and it has big implications on the local economy too, because you have lots of people, they're working in construction. So when the bust happens, it affects the economy a lot. It drives up crime, all kinds of things happen. So this is called Bahia Tezel. There's so many Airbnbs in this area. And the funny thing is about these Airbnbs is when you look at them, like they're available all the time. There's just an absolute saturation. Clearly, we're in the peak season right now of when people are traveling to places like Baja California Sur. I just could not believe when I was at the Airbnb meetup last night. I was like, what do you think's gonna happen? Do you think there's gonna be a recession? No, there's never gonna be a recession. And I work remotely anyways. And I'm like, have you even thought about what happens if you lose your job? Like, look at all the tech workers that are being laid off and fired right now. So this is one of the buildings which just has a massive level of Airbnbs in, and you can really just see it, and I'll put it on the screen right now so you can see the amount of Airbnbs in this building. You can always get one. There's always one open, there's always one available, and they're going to build there. This is for sale over there, but they're going to build just over there. Nobody is saying, hey, wait a minute, what does it mean if 50% of these units are going to be Airbnb for my business that is also Airbnb? I mean, nobody even thinks it through. It's hilarious business practices. Nobody seems to give a damn. I've never seen anything like it. So we're right now by where they're breaking ground, the construction site, and it's going to be Las Arenas. That's what it's going to look like eventually, if it ever gets built, because this thing, it's going to be built in 6 to 12 months. So you're talking like February 2024, it's probably going to be completed at the earliest. Man, it may never get completed. There's so many buildings in Mexico from 2008 that still haven't got built. And a lot of people, they end up losing their money. You know, it's very difficult when you're buying in a country like Mexico. A lot of people just don't understand the risks and they get absolutely screwed. Lawyers just vanish. This is the real estate office right here. If you look at this area here, you can see that basically behind here, that's where they're going to be building even more. So it's just kind of everywhere. The building is everywhere. It's hard to actually show you it all. I don't have a drone. I was thinking about getting one, but they're very expensive, and to be quite honest, I don't want to spend the money on it. Make Los Cabos your own. And this isn't just a problem here in Cabo. When you actually go out to Tulum and all these other areas, you realize that it's even bigger there. The problem is gigantic in Tulum, and we're actually going to Tulum in April, and I want to show you just how out of control this has actually got. In fact, there is so many Airbnbs there that now you've got people that are trying to essentially even give you chauffeur services, just do anything to differentiate themselves from the competition, because there is so many condo projects. I get emails all the time for Tulum projects, and I got one today. They're selling for 135,000 US. Those prices seem really low, to be honest, for Tulum, but what kind of moron is buying these condos knowing how many there are in Tulum? I've never seen, considering the population of Tulum, I've never seen so many in one area, so densely packed with Airbnbs. And you know, all these units that you're looking at here, most of them are Airbnbs, and it even says over there, now selling. It's hilarious. I mean, you're going to find amazing opportunities here. I can tell you that much. There's just going to be incredible opportunities to buy all these distressed Airbnbs when they happen, because people have no concept of running a business. They have no clue. When you see as well, it's kind of funny because you can tell by the license plates that a lot of people are coming from the US. When we were in Puerto Vallarta and we went to some pre-construction projects there, and I was asking who was buying, and we were seeing what was going on in these projects. And it was really funny because most of the projects, a lot of them were Canadians. And I was just thinking, what is the probability of that happening, considering the population of Canada versus the United States? You would always expect that 75, 80, 90% of the people buying these projects will be from the US. But no, we had one that was over 50% were Canadians, and most of them were planning on using it for Airbnb. And none of them had asked the question what everybody else's plan was. Were they going to use it as an Airbnb as well? I mean, it's just a disaster, guys. I mean, the thing is, nobody really wants to talk about it, but Airbnb is just going to be a huge bust. And I'm not just talking about Cabo, I'm talking about so many different places, because so many people bought investor properties, they got into Airbnb, they justified it because they said, hey, we're going to earn more money through Airbnb, so we don't need to fetch those higher rents that we're not going to be able to get and are unrealistic. And really now they're gonna really face a brick wall. They're gonna hit a brick wall, because the reality is, heading into a recession, travel demand just absolutely tanks, as I can show you from this chart. With this chart, you can see that not only does travel demand tank, you can see that in the airline industry, it wasn't until 2012, 13, 14 when people started to get hired back. So that just goes to show the oversubscription of people that were essentially working in that industry and how much it expanded. Okay, so welcome back, and I'm going to show you now on AirDNA what is going on in this area. So essentially where I'm at right now walking around is this area here, and there's just a ton of rentals and there's more projects absolutely everywhere. But if I zoom on out, so this area is called El Tezel, and you've got all these projects that are everywhere, and basically you've got all these already massive amounts of vacation rentals. And if you look, there's 44% that are essentially 1 to 90 days available, you know, so the amount that are booked right now is 63%. So that's not a massively high number. If you take a look at this, you can see the growth has been absolutely insane. Since 2019, you have more than doubled in this area. And then if we go to Cabo San Lucas as a whole, so you can see that, you'll see how it's just gone absolutely parabolic. You've got just an insane saturation of Airbnb, and nobody is really looking at this. So you've got 5,822 rentals here. And if you look at the growth from 2019, you've got 6,467, and then you've got 7,001. So you've way surpassed 2019. And you can see how during the 2020 recession, look what happened. The amount of Airbnbs, they went down. So I think we're going to see a similar pattern play out once this recession really starts to get going here, and it's going to present a massive investment opportunity in these kind of places, because essentially there's going to be a lot of distressed Airbnb buyers who can no longer afford to keep these Airbnbs going, especially if they lost a job. And a lot of these Airbnb owners are actually tech workers, and it's just kind of mad. And once all these pre-construction projects stopped, you'll know that the real estate market is really cooling here. But I just wanted to show you that to kind of illustrate what was going on. So if you've enjoyed this video, you might like that one there. You might also like this one here, which is also about the Airbnb nightmare that is coming. So I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, guys. Bye-bye.